Hello everybody, welcome back to Football Club Barcelona. It has been a long time, hasn't it? So what you would have seen is the two episodes actually recorded pre-Christmas that have just come out. This is the first video recorded though in this series for a decent amount of time. Obviously, those of you that were following the series knew that I got a job working at Sports Interactive, so that's why I had to stop creating content for a little while. But we're back doing it, so all is good right now. And we're going to carry on with our tactical recreation of Pep Guardiola 2008-2009. And I sort of got to a point before we stopped making the videos a little bit. It was a bit of a hybrid tactic of we're slowly getting closer to the recreation we're looking for. But as you can see off camera, the games have gone very well. The stats are incredible. I think that I don't want to get too drawn into the possession and passes completed, really, but they're a good indicator. But you know, possessions calculate slightly differently, and you know, there's loads of other stuff to it. So I'm not going to focus too much on it specifically all the time. But just so you know, here it is at the moment with 62% average, with 6,392 passes completed in 8 matches, 30 goals scored, 4 against. We are very, very good. 8 wins out of 8. 1 win in the Champions League already. We are looking incredible. And I actually had a bit more of a look at what was happening in the game and looking at real life. I watched a couple more matches of Barcelona from this season, and I felt like maybe we could do slightly better with a couple of the roles. So the tactic has evolved again, which I think is going to please most of you, because I think a lot of people watching this like to see the evolution of the tactic rather than it becoming like a let's play. So this is what we're looking at right now. I'm going to go through this in order of like defense up. So the first change is the left back. Now, inverted wing back attack was just not what really Abidal was. It's really hard to get his role into the game because you play him too defensively. Whoever plays that role just doesn't impact the game enough the way that he would have done. So what I managed to come up with, and you would have seen the steps to this if I'd have recorded every game, was wing back automatic and sit narrower and hold position. Now, I know it says it won't count, but the only way I could get to this was that if you go onto wing back support, it automatically pre-selects get further forward instead of hold position. So if we get the right player there, it might make a bit more of a difference. But that was what I wanted, is I wanted to have them to hold position, because a wing-back support, even with this, he was still joining the front line a little too much. So that was frustrating me a little bit. So that was the first thing that wasn't the first thing I changed, but that was something that I did change. This is very much a work in progress. I'm still looking at potentially changing this, but deep line playmaker defend here. Now, this was a halfback for a little bit. Now, the problem with the halfback and the inverted wing-back is they aren't just like a preset of instructions added to a role. Those have specific movements that other roles just don't do as much. And the halfback could be something that we go to, but at the moment we're going to go deep line playmaker defend. I think the crucial thing was, if the pivot player here was on a support duty, him and whoever was in the Xavi role was just getting in the same areas far too much, and they weren't a good enough option to retain. So that's why that one was changed. This role here, we had him on support duty, then we said we needed to press the backline more, so went back to attack. He's going to go on support duty. Now, watching Xavi a little bit in a game earlier against, I think it was Atletico Madrid was the one that I picked him out on, he definitely runs and does what we would now consider, I think, the De Bruyne run. He definitely does the half-space run when it's required. Not as often, but he can do it, and he does do it every now and again, depending on what Messi does. So, but then there's a couple of good moments where he goes and joins the front line, but then drops straight back into, quite near Busquets, almost like a double pivot, but not really. So, has to be a support duty for that, because in attack duty he just won't do those movements. So I had him as advanced playmaker support. I just wasn't enjoying his movements exactly. Rubbing playmaker seems to be the best of all worlds, because I've tested advanced playmaker support and deep line playmaker support. Deep line playmaker support was really good at staying out the way, and it allowed then the inside forward to have far more space to get into and play a bit more like Messi. I think the problem is that when he's high early, it sort of pushes the inside forward out a bit wider, or stops him getting on the ball because he's not really needed, because the ball can go to the playmaker or the central midfielder. The deep line playmaker was good because it stayed out the way and it allowed him far more space, but then the problem was, because he was a deep line playmaker, he'd get on the ball quite deep and then would just ping the ball, like he'd start switching it and stuff. So I wanted something that would still move with the ball and make runs ahead of the ball. Deep line playmaker didn't do that as often either. So we ended up with roaming playmaker. So the fact that roaming playmaker is almost like the box-to-box role, but what's different about it? It's like he seems to be more intelligent, where he then drops in to make a double pivot. I say double pivot as in he's quite close to Ndombele rather than he actually like literally next to him. It's more like he just drops in to get the ball and then he goes and supports. I just feel like he's a lot less hectic with his running than the box-to-box midfielder, because the box-to-box midfielder really will make runs beyond the backline a little more than the Roman playmaker, just from the little bit of testing that I've done with this current setup. So that's the reasoning for that. It sort of does recreate what Xavi does a little bit. I don't think Xavi's role is really in the game at the moment, the way that with this current setup. I think that's the closest we've got to so far, but because it really does affect the inside forwards. And I think that it's as close as we can get to Messi's role and Xavi's role at the moment. We can keep testing. This is not set. I am still testing, but that I do like this a lot more. Like Adeyemi played and scored. Was it 3 goals in a game? Yeah. So this is where I first tried it. Was in this game. He scored 3. He was brilliant in that game. Adeyemi. Oh, his catch-up was pretty quick, wasn't it? Almost broke Robbie Fowler's record there. So yeah, that's the reasoning for that. And then inside forward. Now, this I don't like as much still. I feel like for the Henry role, this role just stays too far off the defensive line. So he's not as much of a threat in behind as Henry was. If I was to try and get him higher, I'm going to lose something else. He might then interfere with Pedri too much, get into Pedri's area. He has to stay wide. He has to create the space for Pedri. So I think that's the best we're going to get from this at the moment. This is pretty close from what I've seen. And rewatching some of it. I've been watching it as I've been playing off camera. So, yeah, this is going to be, I think, pretty close, but we'll see. Anyway, that's probably quite a long tactical explanation, but I'm sure some of you, I know the people that watch this one in particular, they're the ones that like that kind of stuff, so that's good. It's a shame I haven't got the footage to show you, really. I just wanted to explain it to you now, so when we see it in the game, you're going to hopefully see what I've said. Maybe we get beat, and that's the end of that. So today's game against Milan then. No injuries, no problems. We're going to go straight into it. First team, here we go. We are on a new machine here, so I can actually play the game in 3D. I'm not sure what to do about that. Let me know in the comments whether you'd rather still see 2D with 3D highlights or what you prefer, because I can do anything now with that. Let's keep it the same for the first game, because that's what we're used to, and then let me know what you think going forwards, because I can definitely change that now. Okay, underway. First highlight is a corner for Milan. They're going to get it. I'm actually going to slow this down a couple of notches here. Fabio Vera has it on the left-hand side. I don't know what he's going to do with this, and it's offside. Lacroix has it. So he plays it short to Lazari, to Lacroix. Just like looking at the positions of the players here. So there's our Xavi role. So he is still happy to go beyond, which is good, but he should drop and get onto it at some point here, if he needs to. Ansu Fati, Pedri with the Iniesta run. Doesn't quite get the ball. Ndombele to Pedri. Into Erling Haaland, early ball in. 1-0 to Barca. It's interesting, though. You have to have a striker on a attack duty to recreate, I think, the runs that Etu made. Don't forget, we are doing this specific season, in Pep's first season. It changes, obviously, 2 years later, by the time they play against United in the Champions League final, the second time round. That's a very different team that create their attacks quite differently. I throw on the right hand side. Moukoko is going to get onto it. Hopefully, we can see more build up as well. I put it up to comprehensive now, so hopefully, we will get a little more of the early highlights rather than just like the goals and stuff. Offensively, we were really bad last game. We hadn't conceded a goal in all first six games, I think, in the league, and then we finally conceded in 2 games ago. And the last game, we somehow conceded 3, but Livakovic had a 6.1 match rating, so I think it was down to him making a mistake. We'll see. Moukoko, Haaland, Pedri, Moukoko, Pedri, Moukoko. So at the very least, we're starting to get Moukoko into some areas to shoot as the Messi in this tactic. Guy's done that a couple of times now. If he takes the corners, nobody's sure. He just tries to hit Haaland on the edge of the area. Here we go. We're going to gain this egg. Eric Garcia. You've got your Busquets to Abidal. Abidal to Iniesta. What up? I should rename these players, shouldn't I? Lazari to Gavi. Gavi back to Lazari. What's he going to do with this? To Gavi. Corner. Barca with the ball on the left-hand side. Ansu Fati cuts in, shoots. Oh, what a finish that was. 2-0 to Barca. We are absolutely brilliant. I'm not going to lie to you. I do have a feeling we might go the whole season undefeated. Definitely in the league. I don't know about the Champions League. It would have to mean we'd have to miss the English teams for quite a while. What a finish from our Thierry Henry. 2-0. On Haaland, press the ball. There we go. Right, win this back. Busquets. Good lad, Busquets. I'll do it. They're going to ping it in behind here. To our wing back, Automatic, who gets the block. All on the right hand side here with Moukoko to Erling Haaland to our Iniesta to our Thierry Henry on the left hand side. Probably could have gone inside there, doesn't matter. It's 3-0, it's probably game over, and we're absolutely destroying AC Milan at the Camp Nou. It was onside, yeah, so there we go. That's what I like, is that, okay, he wasn't that wide Henry like you would expect him in real life, but so as long as he's on the outside of the defensive line, I can accept that. And he would still have come in narrow, I think, at that point, because we're that close to the goal, but yeah, that's looking good. And we're in again. Pedri, close. Put it onto extended now, because this could be about 9-0, and we could be here for about half an hour in one game. So, okay, to play out from the back here, Lacroix, Eric Garcia. I've sped it up by one notch as well to Pedri, to Fati. Still a bit, I don't know. Guys, Ron wasn't too bad, wasn't it? It wasn't too bad. We get up to Moukoko to Gavi. Gavi holds on to it, plays it back to our Messi. It's a cross, and it was sensational football, and it's somehow not gone in. That looked really good. That looked very much Barca 2009 like. Well, that's a bit more direct, but we don't care. Oh, where is it? They shouldn't be in our league. They shouldn't be in our group, Milan. Get into the Europa League, lads. One for Barca. Whipped in. Away. Erling Haaland. Is he going to shoot? No, Eric Garcia might. Oh. Lukaku has it on the right-hand side. Dribbles through inside. Should have released it, really. He had a few options there. Lazari gets it. Plays it across. Haaland, that could have been fought. After we're going to say we're happy with how we've dominated possession so far, I think. It's been really, really simple for us this game. Yeah, I think we might start off on full match in the next game, just so we can see our patterns developing a little more before we go 2 goals up. If we go 2 goals up this early again. Let's take Haaland off. Moukoko can come off. Highlight here, though. Lazari is going to get the ball. They clear it. Here we go. Let's see a bit of possession build up now. Lacroix back to the keeper if you need to. Ndombele has it. Gavi brings it across to Pedri. Little run on the inside here from Henry. It's good. Yeah, I do interchange the name of the actual player and the player they're supposed to be from that season. Hopefully that's not too hard to follow. If it's annoying, let me know. I'll either stop doing it or just rename them. Fati has it to Gaia to Eric Garcia to Livakovic. Lacroix to Gavi. Not sure you need to do that, Gavi. That's the only problem with playmaker roles, isn't it? It nearly worked in the end, but can we stop that? A more or shorter passing, maybe. Let's try that. Try that. 9% possession. Lacroix, last highlight of the game then. It's going to be 4-0 to finish this off. Goes wide to Adiemi, who takes it on the outside and plays the ball through to Daka, and it was a blocked shot. And that is going to probably do it there. It's going to be 3-0 to Barca. We've dominated them here. It's been quite incredible how far they are off our level, isn't it? Gabi, Lacroix, and Ndombele, Daka. Lovely football. Keeping it, lads. There we go. Can we get off us? No, we can't. 3-0. Absolutely brilliant from the boys. Going to say that was good. Well done. Fantastic. Okay, I'll see you in a few days then for the Sevilla game away, and we'll probably start the game off on full match. See you in a second. Okay, same team goes into today's game. Just says, yep, fair enough. Okay, so we're going to watch this in full match, I think, a little bit at the start, just to see how we do. A couple of things to note. I think the right back and the right central fielder are a bit too direct with their passing, and apologies to the pitch, it's a little zoomed out. I'm not entirely sure why. I think it's because Sevilla are playing with a square pitch or something here, whatever their setting is. That is almost a square, isn't it? That is pretty close. Anyway, Guy has it. Eric Garcia to Gavi to Ansu Fati, Pedri, and Ndombele, Gavi. So what we're looking at here now is, I don't know, I just feel like he's in slightly better areas where, because we retain the ball so much when we attack the middle, this winger here, I guess they've got force outside on. So this winger is starting to come into the middle to stop them, and he's occupying the attention of the fullback. So really, the Dani Alves role is always open here. Whoever's in this role, which is sort of what this side is more designed for than the other side. That's absolute trash, though, from the goalkeeper Livakovic. You're going to piss me off if you do that again. Why would you clear it like that? Livakovic to Lazari to Moukoko to Gavi to Moukoko. Dribbles through. So he just commits and dribbles through now a little more because the player that's next to him isn't making runs in behind. I think that if he was still a Mazzala, the Xavi role, Mazzala support or whatever it is, he would start making those runs and the winger would just look to pass it or would do something else. But now he's willing to dribble because there's not supposed to be somebody in that zone as often. Obviously, sometimes, but just not as often. We get the ball back here. Eric Garcia to Lacroix. He's going to play it to Gavi. Gavi could have played this into the striker, I think, really. But he's got to Moukoko, who then, oh, come on, Moukoko. He'll be better than that. That's just rubbish. Well done, Gavi. Pedri into Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati to Haaland. Back to Ansu Fati. Dribbles through. Well done. Should have got it across. It was close. Goes up to Ansu Fati, who has a couple of players here. Ndombele to Lazari. Lazari, the spare player on the right-hand side to Gavi. I mean, what annoys me, right, that's nearly a goal. That actually worked, to be fair. But when it comes across here, Ndombele's role after this comes across is, I know he's got to get across now. When it goes back to Gabby there, he has to be in a position where we can retain back to him. So he needs to be either split out here, just in this zone so he can go back and in, or he needs to be maybe across here so Gabby can get it through to him. He has to be an option. He's completely just screened out the game here at this point. And then Gabby, and he just doesn't really move, does he? Gabby's only option back is to go back here, which you could go bang bang, but by the time you do that, Sevilla get back out and they reset themselves. So that's the current problem we've got there. And my issue with that, Gabby gives it back to Lazari. It actually worked in the end, in the tightest of areas, but pretty close to Mokoko. On the left-hand side, whips in an early cross. That was probably not the right decision. The counter press works really well, though. Ansu Fati back to Pedri, over. Ansu Fati on the left-hand side to Pedri, to Gaia. Can we work back? See, that's my only concern. Ndombele is either too far forwards with the midfielders, or he's too far back. Because, I mean, the half-back was worse, so he shouldn't be as bad as the half-back, so he should be okay there. I don't know what's going on. That's why I had him as a deep line playmaker support, which probably wasn't the most ideal role for him, but it felt like what I had to have. Ansu Fati dribbles through, plays it to Pedri, to Gavi. Wow. Look at this. Just look at this. Thierry run. Come on, lads. Drag you back, drag you back, drag you back. Play it back into the space. And one more. Thank you very much. Touch. Finish. Even when you look relatively set defensively, we still score. Free kick for Sevilla, whipped in, it's headed in, and it's a goal. I thought it might be offside, but it's not. 1-1. Ball back here, Livakovic, Garcia. I don't know what Eric Garcia is doing, but asking to be subbed off apparently. If they keep going, we can still win this. Change guy to wing back attack with Sitnauer on. Like here for Sevilla potentially. Papa Gomez has on the left hand side. He's going to whip in a cross. He's not. I don't know what happened there. Makoko gets it. See there, like, just the Roman playmaker could have done with making a little bit more of an effort to move forwards though with the ball. So I don't want to make a box. It's not box to box midfield. I'm not doing that. So that was pretty good there. Ansu Fati, why did you wait for that? So like here, there you're thinking, right, run onto this, through on goal, and that should have been a finish. But that's obviously an issue there, isn't it? There's a bug because he should have just gone through and scored. But he decided to take it wide and crossed it for Erling Haaland, which is a shame. Because that chance that we just had nothing to do with us. Our tactic worked really well. The movement was there. Everything was great. It's a shame that there's an issue with the game there. The reason why it didn't quite come out the way we wanted it to. Eric Garcia and Ndombele, so a bit close to the centre-backs there, really. Ansu Fati to Gaia and Ndombele to Gabi. That's what I mean. Like, he's dropping in to get on the ball a little bit as well. I'm not entirely sure we needed that, though. Whipped it in to... Yeah, we didn't really want that. I don't know, something not quite right is there with these two midfield at the moment. The two deeper players. Gabi whips it now across to Ansu Fati, Pedri, Ansu Fati to Gaia, Pedri, brilliant football, close. They ping it out to the right-hand side, our left. Ansu Fati should have won the ball, didn't. And he needs some support there, lads. Come on, there we go. Get a bit of pressure on Navas. Come on, there we go. And they ping it long. Eric Garcia, who's had a terrible game, hasn't he? It's been coming in some ways, I guess. Nobele's going to have to go back. We'll have to do this. That's a shame that we're going to now have to play the rest of the game with 10 men. We'll go with that. And that is going to do it. It's a 1-1 draw for Barcelona. We're going to say sympathise. I mean, we played pretty well, I think, in a lot of areas, but just a few tweaks needed still for the tactic. But we're dominating still, very much in the leading title race, and undefeated still, which is always nice. At the moment, for me, what I'm looking at is this issue here. Something between these two needs to change. And then this role here, inverted back attack isn't on the cards. Inverted back support, he goes way too central, way too early for the Abidal sort of role. So, I mean, a wing-back support with Sitnauer doesn't seem to really do it either. It's really hard to get this role, correct, if I'm honest. Maybe wing-back defend might be pretty good because he'll sort of stay wide and he'll stay back a little more, maybe. Difficult one. Very difficult. But that'll be something for me to test off camera. Okay, so we're going to come back for this game, the Atletico Madrid game, and then the AC Milan game. The reason is the World Cup, the Winter World Cup happens right after this game. So there's a long break after this one, so I think it's the perfect time to come back for. So come back for these two games. They're having a terrible season at Atletico Madrid, but they'll play a really defensive system against us, so it'll be something different to look at. And it gives me a few more games here to tweak what we've currently got, so you can see it again against this team. And then against Milan as well. We probably would rotate in that game. Maybe we won't, because there's a break anyway, and then we can see the tactic be tweaked against the same team we just saw them play at home on camera. So maybe that's the way to go. We'll probably do that, I think. But yeah, let me know what you think of the series and the videos. Obviously, because I've not uploaded for nearly 2 months due to my job, YouTube tanks you in the algorithm, so your videos don't get pushed as much in interactions and stuff. But if you are watching still and you're a returning viewer, or if you're a brand new viewer, just let me know what you think and what you're thinking. Because I don't know if people aren't returning that because they don't like some of the stuff anymore. Whether it's just a case of accepting the algorithm and it'll bounce back when it bounces back, sort of thing. Obviously, I only do this for fun. I don't make any money out of it. So yeah, to try and bring you stuff. So hopefully, I bring it for other people to enjoy. Really, I do enjoy doing it as well. I will see you for our game against Atletico Madrid and AC Milan. Thank you very much for watching. Recreation is on. See you next time.